What's up everyone, and welcome back for another video here on the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. For those who do not know me, my name is Monet. I am 27 years old, and here on this channel I am sharing my financial journey, and I share how I budget and take care of my finances. I am a single budgeter, and I do utilize the cash envelope system, so if any of that sounds like something that you would also be interested in and things that you enjoy, then definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and join the family, and hit the bell so that you will be notified each time I upload my next video. So within today's video, we are going to wrap up the month of June and do a monthly reset in preparation for July. So I'm going to go on my spreadsheet, figure out the month, and we are going to budget and see exactly where these funds are going to go. So if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if this video is out and you are seeing this, then the template is available. I have been working on this budget template. I did go ahead and make some tweaks and adjustments, and I finally feel like it's in a place where I think it's good enough to share. It's never going to be perfect. I feel like something is always going to be wrong or something that I can make better. So definitely, if you guys see any errors, just let me know and I will go ahead and try and adjust it. I like to say I'm tech savvy, but as we all know, I am a proud and true pen and paper girl. So I have just been, teaching myself all of this. So if something is wrong, please just let me know. So with all that out of the way, I am rushing because I literally have to catch a flight in 2 hours. So let's go ahead and budget this out because I wanted to close out June and know exactly where my money is before I go on vacation, and July will be like its own thing. So let me stop rambling and let's get this done. All right, so here we are with the month of June. As we saw in the June setup, we went ahead and filled out all of the budget side, and now we're going to go ahead and fill out the actual. If the template is available, I do want to share some of the tabs that I haven't showcased to you guys. When I come back, I want to do a proper walkthrough of the template and how to use it. But when I return, I'm definitely going to do a walkthrough. I'll upload the video so that we can all see ideally how I wanted the template to run. But what you will get with the template is this tab that is annual dashboard. Then I also have here a savings tracker. I also went ahead and added a calendar view. This was something that a lot of people requested. So I went ahead and put that together. But let me go ahead and close out June, you guys. As I said, I'm running out of time, so I do want to get through this for what I can. The only thing that I added differently to the monthly tab was that here, where we're tracking our remaining to budget, I found that when I was giving it to my friends and family, like to test out the template, when it came to putting in the actual numbers, they were still inclined to look here at this number, like the same way that we did at the beginning to see it deduct. Before, I didn't have it available that you can look at actual and budgeted, but I went ahead and added a little drop-down column so that now you can look at your actual amount and it will deduct as well, rather than you looking down here, because that's where I was looking before. But now if you input an actual, so I'm going to do 4,352 because my actual did come out the same as my budgeted, and we'll see now that our actual number is now highlighted here. So just be sure that you are filtered on the correct income source whenever you are looking to see how your money is allocated. But yeah, I think that was a helpful addition. So hopefully that makes things a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and fill out June. We are working with our total of 4,352, and let's note how this came in. So in terms of rent, I knew my rent was going to be lower, as I shared, because I know I'm going through a rent change. So with that being said, knowing that I wasn't going to get my correct rent payment, I just did an estimate and I overestimated. So actually my rent for June came to $1,700, but in July we know that that will be more because now I will have a whole month worth of my new rent versus, just half of the month with my old rent. All right, so getting into the bills that were next. Internet, that was $56. That is a fixed bill. Electricity, I budgeted at $94, but actually came in at $88, so that was nice to see. And then rollover, we're going to leave this blank. I like to come back to that, and once I see how everything else panned out, anything left over I put into rollover. So now we can go ahead and get into expenses. First being gas. Gas, I budgeted 60, but I actually only gave 50. This was due in part because towards the end of this month, as you all know, I am leaving for 2 weeks. So I didn't put gas as high as I thought I would. And then with that thought in mind, also, my spending was more than what I budgeted. I gave myself 410 for the month. And that was again to offset the fact that I will be away. So my spending was increased to support that while I'm away. Groceries was budgeted at 300 for the month. That actually came to 130. Once again, I'm not home, so I didn't need my groceries to be as high as I normally did. Toiletries was budgeted at 100, and I actually gave that 90. Clothing was budgeted at 60, and it did receive 60. And eating out was at 80, and I did give myself 80. So that is how we are looking in terms of expenses. Now we can move along to savings. So for annual payments, it was budgeted at 60, and I did give myself 60. Same for car maintenance, it received 40. Car insurance got 80. Christmas got 40. Gifts got 20. Household with 30. Medical was 0. Travel did have to get a slight decrease. I budgeted 350, but it actually only got 330. And then home fund was the 675. I was able to hold to that. All right, and then the last part we have over here is investments for my Roth IRA. Budgeted 384 for the month, and that is what we came in at, 384. So I do not have any debt. I am debt free. But now we see that I am left with $29 for remaining, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw that into my rollover. For those who do not know, my rollover basically feeds into my buffer for my checking account. I kind of let that build up so that I never have $0 in my checking account. So I just let my buffer fund that. So that is how I am finishing out June. So if we take a peek at my income summary, let's see how things panned out. So for income versus budgeted and actual, it was exactly the same. I am salary, so most of the time it should be what I think it is. As for bills, even though we had some different numbers, it actually panned out to be exactly what I budgeted, so that was nice. So $1,873 went towards that. In terms of expenses, we are seeing a $20 difference. So it was $20 more than what I anticipated. So that's why it is in the red. And then looking at savings, I did $20 less than what I expected. So again, that's in the red. In terms of investments, we were able to do exactly what I said. And then debt is 0. So now we see we are at a 0 base budget, which is ideally what I like to work towards. So the next thing that we can go ahead and take a peek at is the pie chart and see how that looks in terms of percentages. I enjoy looking at this visual. I try to live by the 50, 30, 20, but in today's world, and with me being a single budgeter, that's not always the case. So I try to keep my bills and expenses. That's kind of what I account for, the 50% for the necessities. I try to keep that at least 60. And then savings, I try to target 30. And then what's left, I put that towards investments. But for the month of June, pretty close to what we budgeted. So bills came in at 43%, expenses came in at 18.8%, savings with 29.3%, and then investments with 8.8%. And then if we want to look at my savings breakdown in terms of a percentage of what went to the most, I am always working towards my home fund. So I always want my home fund to be at least more than half of my savings. So we see that it's at 52.9%. So that's great to see. And then always majority right after that is travel, and that's close to 26%. And then the rest of my sinking funds are very minimal, but still important to the budget. All right, so the last thing that we can go ahead and take a peek at for June is my expense tracker and seeing what I spent my money on. So this is for my variable expense spending. These are within my cash dividers, and if you guys watch any of my what I spend in the week vlogs, this is pertaining to that as well. So in terms of total expenses spent for the month, out of my gas spending, groceries, toiletries, clothing, and eating out, that was a total of $777 spent. All right, so pretty on par, I think, with what I normally do. Looking at the breakdown and who got the most, spending was high this month at 34.1%. I already know that's due to my best friend. She came to visit me, and when she's in town, I spend more than if I'm by myself, because normally I don't go out like that. I really only go out when I have company or something. But yeah, so spending got 34.1. Groceries with 28.7. Normally it is higher, but I just did not do a lot of grocery shopping knowing that I'm not going to be here. After that, we have toiletries and eating out. They came in at the exact same at 10.3%, which is pretty good. I used to have an eating out problem, so the fact that I am now very low with that category, I am proud and happy that I can stick to that. Next, we have gas with 8.9%, which is standard, I feel, and then clothing with 7.7. So yeah, I think for June, we did pretty well. Looking at what is left to spend and what I will be rolling over into July, I have a remaining balance of gas at $67, spending with $285, groceries with $85, toiletries with $90, clothing with $50, and eating out with $50. But when it comes to tracking my budget for the month of June, that is all I do. And now let's just go ahead and quickly set up for July. All right, so here we are with July, another fresh new month. I did go ahead and put in the categories already, so now we can go over the amounts together. I first want to make sure I am filtered on the remaining to budget, since we are now going to budget for the next month. My start dates based off of my July budget is going to fall within July. I will get paid on July 12th and July 26th. So all of my budgeting will fall within the month. So getting started with my full time, we are again working with $4,352. Just a preference, this is after taxes, after healthcare, after 401k deductions, and after my tithe. So this is the number that I'm comfortable with sharing, so that is what I am budgeting with. So getting started with our bills. First up, we have, of course, rent. This will be the first month with my full new pay. I'm anticipating the budget to be $1,725 for my rent. Hopefully, it's lower than that. But my rent is inclusive of rent itself, the amenity fee, which is like $40 each month that my apartment complex charges me. I have to pay for water, I have to pay for sewer and trash. So I just lump all of those things together and throw it within rent. So I anticipate $1,725 for that. Up next, we have my internet. That is a fixed expense at $56. And my electricity last month, as we saw, was $85. I'm gonna put $95 because I do expect it to be a little bit more, because it has been hot for a few days and I was running my AC. So it probably will be a little bit more than the $88 from the previous month. Rollover, we will come back to, and we can get started with filling in our expenses. So for gas, this month I'm going to budget $55. I'm pretty, high on gas. As we saw, I had $67, and I normally spend maybe between $60 to $80 a month. So I feel like I'm pretty good there, but I'll give myself $55 just in case. As for spending, it's going to be $250 that I'm gonna budget, but with me on vacation at the first half of July, I honestly don't know how my spending is gonna go, but I'm going to hope that we can stay within the $250. Groceries, I'm going to budget at $280 for the month. And toiletries is going to be budgeted at $90. Next, we have clothing. That's going to do $60. That might be more just because I do plan on possibly, begin shopping in July for my cruise. My cruise is in August, and I want to get some cute little dresses and stuff like that. So $60 probably will be more, but we will see how the month pans out. And then $80 for eating out. Next, we move on to savings. So when it comes to my sinking funds for annual payments for the month, we are going to budget $60 as normal. These honestly remain the same each month for the most part. So car maintenance will get $40 once again, car insurance with $80, Christmas at $40, gifts at $20, household at $30, medical we are still going to do $0, travel we're going to budget $330, and home fund again with the $675 that I am working towards. I like to do consistent numbers and not try and change things up too much, so the numbers do stay relatively close to what they were the month before. And then I have my Roth IRA for my investments, and I am targeting once again $384 for the month, and that will keep me on target for the $7,000 goal. So looking at what is remaining to budget, we have $2 left. So we're going to go ahead and throw that straight into our rollover. So for July, looking at our income summary, our total income is $4,352. Bills, we are budgeting at $1,878. Expenses with $815. Savings at $1,275. And investments with $384. So looking at our pie chart, we have bills at 43.2%, expenses at 18.7%, savings at 29.3%, and investments at 8.8%. So very close to what we did in June. Down here within the expense tracker, nothing to fill out yet, but once I begin my spending, I will go ahead and do that. But I do want to go ahead and put in my rollover amount for the expense remaining. I do want to preference that you don't have to do this expense remaining check-in if you get the file. I truly think this is just helpful for people that are doing the cash envelope method like myself, but it's not something you have to track. I just put it there as an added bonus if that's something that you guys also want to do. So looking at June, rolling over, we're going to have $67 in gas, $285 in spending, $85 in groceries, $90 in toiletries, $50 in clothing, and $50 for eating out. So these funds will go ahead and last me until I get my first paycheck, which we noted was July 12th. So hopefully we are able to manage with what we got. But that is our wrap for budgeting for July. All right, so as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching the video. As always, let me know down in the comments any questions or comments that you have down below. Give me a thumbs up because that really lets me know that you are still enjoying this type of content. But with all that being said, that's all I have, you guys. So I will catch you all next time in my next video. Bye, guys.